Well, we made it. 2020. How crazy is that? We passed a decade. It's the start of a new decade. So I just wanted to make a video to describe what my decade was, in not full detail or as best as I can remember it. But yeah, let's start all the way back in 2010. I was going into year three. It was a big deal for a 8-year-old kid. No, wait. Yeah, year three is when you turn 9. Sorry. Yep, I was still, in 2010, I was, in year three. And, that's when I started, getting bullied because I'm autistic. And, you know, but I was still learning how to be social and stuff because my autism is social. And yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's nuts. Because I just have trouble socializing with people, especially strangers. Like, I know, you meet people when they start off as strangers and then you become acquaintances. I get that. But, yeah, I'm not the best with social things. I'm not the worst, but I'm not very great at social interactions. But I have been improving on it. And then, yeah, so I was adapting to growing up, being being sort of like the young child that I always was, learning all new words like hey and crap like that. And the it was when I had little social stories as well. One of the funny things I remember was my teacher's aide used to write little and draw little pictures with speech bubbles and make them into short social stories to help me understand the world. Because one of the things I feel like is really, really hard is that everyone looks at autistic people through how they should, like, the world from their point of view, but we're living in the normal world. And that's why autistic people are different. Everyone's different, and everyone is special. Love who you are. So yeah, year three was in 2010. Went on my first school camp. I survived. I got teased for the fact that there was, apparently I got into my head that there were ghosts in at the camp that I was going to, but it really was just some dickheads flashing their flashlights on the wall trying to freak me out. And I don't know if this was true or not. I don't remember much from my primary school, but I think I woke up and like everyone was around my bed. I'm not too sure. I could be delirious. Sorry, and also sorry if you hear any ticking throughout the video. That's my fan. I don't know what's wrong with it. I have it up to level 2 just to try to keep the room cool because it's a little bit hot. It's summer right now. And yeah, so let's move on from 2010 to 2011. Year 4, much of the same. I wasn't getting bullied. Well, I was still getting pretty bullied, a bit. And I still had a lot of performance anxiety. Okay, yeah, this is a big spoiler, but before I joined Culture Break, I was not confident on stage. Every time I was asked to go on stage, I would literally burst into tears. I was not confident in myself, and I was so scared of performing in front of people. So yeah, I'll give you a moment to sink in. Pause the video right now, let that soak in. But it is true. Before I joined Culture Break, I wasn't very social. Not in a lifetime. School camp was much of the same. I ripped my t-shirt on the bed. That was pretty funny. It wasn't not like a big tear. It was just a little hole that you can stick your finger through. A lovely visual. But I had some good friends, or friends, I guess. There were just some people who looked out for me, but they didn't. I was really much left on my own during that time, and it wasn't very nice. So yeah. And then we get to 2012, year 5. Actually, I want to show you guys something real quick. So I'm just going to jump cut for a bit. I realized I had this. This is my primary school memoirs. This is something I had to make in year 6. So it says 2007, that's when I started kindergarten, and 2013. Also, if you don't mind this weird M, that's an W backwards. And I'm just going to show you some of the pictures that I had. Whoop, forgot this page got taken out because for reasons I had to get into a middle. So yeah, we're just going to skip past the start of the decade. This is just me, and there's a little blurb up here, and oh crap, my book is coming apart. It's 6 years now. Yeah. Yeah, it's just some random mumbo jumbo, though, along with 2011, which apparently I was SRC for, and I ended up doing a rostrum speech on my year and stuff like that, but honestly I don't know why I did. Now 2012 is pretty eventful. That's the part where I first found out about Culture Break, and I actually started doing Culture Break. It was at their Legacy Expo to celebrate 10 years, because they started in 2002, yeah, they just came to my school, and, you know, it was at Canberra Theatre, which I never expected, performing in front of random people. If you think performing in front of the school wasn't bad enough for me, imagine performing in front of 600 people at the Canberra Theatre, or at least I think it was 600 people. I don't know. I'll have to ask Francis if he remembers. And yeah, I met a lot of good friends. I was still getting bullied a lot. Pretty much all my primary school experience was just bullying. And you know, I was in a special program because I pretty much bombed in primary school. Because I'm not bombed, but I struggled quite a bit because I'm not really good. So, but you know, yeah, I was also very I think I was very shy and reserved, as well, in that time. And then in 2013, I was in year 6. It was my final year of primary school before I moved on to high school. And a lot of great memories came out of that. It was my first time. I never really thought much about it compared to this year in year 12, which I'll get to in a minute. But we had a lot of fun memories there. School camp, final one. We had to share with another school, which was really, really weird. And they were both on the same group, so we ran into one or another, and I'm like, that's so freaking weird. We had, my teacher, who was the same in year 5, was absolutely amazing. I won't say her name, it's just to protect her privacy and stuff like that. And I still did Culture Break, both in my school and did classes as well, so that was a lot of fun. My graduation was pretty cool. It was a balloon theme, which, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am terrified of balloons. I don't like when they pop. I get really, really, like, upset and freaked out whenever I'm near them. You know, it's crazy. And we didn't have, like, I don't think we had a year 6 formal. Would be funny if we did, though. But you know, I was quite happy, and they were helium balloons, and I did this whole How to Train Your Dragon thing where I just barely touched the balloon. I was so scared. And then what one of my teachers made me do was pick up the balloon that was hanging on the stick and made me walk around the entire school. I don't know why I did that, but everyone was like, yeah, go James, go James, go James. And I'm like, what the hell is going... Looking back at it, I'm like, why did they do that? I get it because they think I was getting over my fear of balloons. To this day, still hasn't happened. I'm sorry. And yeah, so, and then 2014, I started adjusting to a new school. I went through, I don't want to say depression, but I was very, very sad and scared of going to high school because I was adjusting to a new school. In fact, I think I have memories of me wanting to go back and visit, but and then getting really pissed when I couldn't. But you know, I then got used to Trinity after a while, and it kind of grew on me. And then, yeah, so not really much into that, other than the fact that, you know, I met some of my great friends in that year, and my friends who are still friends, who are friends with me now. So that's pretty cool. Then we get to 2015. That's the year where I have a lot to talk about. It's the year I started YouTube, when I first made my YouTube channel, and just posted it, just some random crap and stuff. I never really had any formulated videos, you know, like the ones that you see on the channel, but yeah. And 2015 is when I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, acute ulcerative colitis, and I was in and out of hospital for a few years. I was very, very miserable. If you look back at my older videos, I was a lot thinner. I lost a lot of weight, and I was very, very miserable. And this led up to August of 2016, when my mum got the news that if we don't do something, I wasn't going to make it. So yeah, I was going to die from colitis, but we went with the surgery. I got the bag, had to stay in hospital for another month, so thanks a lot, ass monkeys. No, they were good guys. Yeah, again, you can watch my other videos, and I'll make a playlist of, like my health story or something, as well on the channel, and the next video I film, I'll put a little iCard on there so you guys can watch it. But if you guys want to view my colitis story, you can just scroll back to my early videos. Yeah. And 2016 for the rest of that year was pretty cool. I returned to Culture Break, and I did KB the Music Factory, where I had the lead, which was a remake, Culture Break spin on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where I had the role of Willy Wonka. It was, instead of chocolate, it was music, so, you know, we had to implement some of that somehow. But yeah, it was just really fun, and yeah. I still couldn't go back to school for the rest of that year, so I was a little bit bummed out that I didn't get to do Year 9, but life keeps living. I did do parts of Year 9, but, you know, the teachers kind of agreed that I wasn't allowed to go back. And then 2017, I was in Year 10, and I still had my bag on, so I had a lot of instances of me leaking during school and me getting really, really upset, but, you know, I just learned how to live through it. I still kept on thriving, and that's when I actually started the Games Court. Yeah, 2017 was when I started the Games Court. And also my channel got hacked, I don't know. But a lot of my videos were being deleted for some reason, and I really don't know why. But then, instead of taking that news on, like, instead of taking all the negativity on that and expressing, like, keeping all that hatred boiled on me, I decided to turn over a new leaf and a new start, you know, because, you know, sometimes things don't work out the way you want it to, and you have to move on from that. So yeah, I made a new start, made the new Games Court thing, and I just started doing other gameplays and stuff, and Games Miss, that was a lot of fun to do, because it gave me sort of a challenge to smash out 12 reviews in in 12 days, so it was pretty cool, and I really loved doing that, and I love doing the Games Court, so yeah. And I also found out that I was in my school musical at the time, which I was also was meant to be in a school musical in 2015 when we did Peter Pan, but I couldn't because I was closed. But then I actually got to do my first ever musical, and that was, well, High School Musical on stage with my school. I played the role of Jason in that production, so I wasn't really a big character. I was more like an ensemble character, which I don't mind. I don't mind being in the ensemble, but it was pretty fun. Yeah, and I learned a lesson in the show. Like, it doesn't matter what role you play. It's just if you have fun doing it. Like, if for all theatre people out there, thespians and whatnot, it doesn't matter what role you play as long as you enjoy yourself doing the show. And I enjoyed it. I had a blast. And I think I went through sort of a stage when I was really, really sad that the show ended. I was crying. Now I think I can say I went through somewhat of a depression during when the show ended because I couldn't handle it. And also in year 10, I did theatre productions for my school where we took a Ripping Yarns thing. For those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming is a lot of you, Ripping Yarns was a thing in the 1970s that was a TV show that was made by some of the Monty Python people. And it was absurdist theatre. So we took one of their pieces, which was Murder at Moonstones Manor, and put it on the stage. And I played the role of Hugo Chiddingfield. And man, that was so much fun. So much fun. But yeah, there was a lot of challenges as well in my experience. And yeah. So 2018 was my first year of college, year 11. Started off with a bit of a bang. Orientation was so much fun. I remember saying to my friend Justin, I'm shouting you out, Justin. He knows who he is. And we were just getting ready for year 11, and we did sort of like a game where there was balloons, and I'm like, why balloons? Why balloons? And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And 2018 was also when I performed my musical. I got into High School Musical when I was in year 10, and then I did it in year 11. So yeah, it was a bit weird, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and I really miss all the people that were in there as well. All the leads and stuff. That was so much fun to do, and I do hope to do musical theatre throughout my life. So yeah. Year 11 was pretty cool. I couldn't go on camp, which sucked because of my bag. My mum, there was a big fear factor with going to camp as well. So yeah, and also I couldn't go to camp in year 11 because I had to go up to get my bag reversed, and it actually did. It actually got it reversed after 1.5 years of having it. I think, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I got the bag reversed. It was pretty cool. And I felt so happy coming out of that room. I was very, very high on anesthetic. I don't think I remember sleeping or waking up. Like, I think I was in one room in a minute and then quickly shift to another. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun and stuff. But I just wanted to be out of that hospital and go home to do my musical. And everyone in the musical, we had a rehearsal on when school was closed. Everyone came around, was just patting me on the back, and well, they were just saying, how did it go? And I received a bunch of heartwarming messages saying, well done on your bag. Well, congratulations that your bag is reversed and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Year 11 was also the year that I was still doing Culture Break as well. I did the Genesis Expo, which was me and the Man Up Boys, Nishat, dancing to boy bands, which wasn't very cool. No, it was pretty fun. Just to like lip sync and stuff, like be cheesy and stuff like that. I love that kind of crap. And we also did Oswald, which was a remake of The Wizard of Oz. And I played the mayor of the Munchkins. So I had to write my own character, and that was really funny because I got to basically just freestyle and had a really fun time. It was crazy. And yeah, and then there was a lot of hardships that I did. I was 2 years into Elevate, which started in 2017, and I got to write my first original song during those times. 2 songs, my first 2 originals. the first one's up on Bandcamp, and the other one is on YouTube. For you to listen to as well. I don't know if you guys seen it. But yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I had to come to the deals with that some of my friends were leaving, and you know, I was afraid they were going to forget me, and yeah, so it was really hard, but you know, I made it. I still had pretty good memories. Now we get to 2019. The final year of the decade. 2019 was crazy. I was in year 12. It was my final year. And I was still worried about what I wanted to do with my life. I was jumping back and forward of things, and I still had colitis flare-ups from time to time. And, you know, that was pretty not fun. And I moved house, as you can see, moved house. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah, it was just, a lot of fun things happened that year. I got to see my cousin, in the, professional touring production of West Side Story that was touring from Australia and New Zealand, and I was so proud of her, and you know, I still am. You know, it was amazing to see the show, because it really is just fun when you see your family member up on their first professional musical debut. There's nothing like it. I was so proud of her and stuff. I had to beg my drama class to go. Which, sorry to my drama class if they watch this. Sorry that I had to drag you, but I'm sure you had fun. You all look like you had fun. And then I went to on drama camp, which was my last camp after I had the bag reversed, and my last camp ever. So, yeah. That was a lot of fun as well. We did drama initiation, which was just, you know, just a fun, stupid thing that we got to do. Not really anything, just acting like idiots. You know, we were all very, very tired. We were very delirious from lack of sleep, and, you know, there were sometimes we'd stay up till like 2 a.m. and then decide to go to bed, but only to be woken up at 7. Yeah, so we weren't really that energetic, and, you know, everyone was just really, really tired and stuff, but it was still lots of fun, and we all had just a great time, just us hanging out, and I think that was the pinnacle of 2019, was getting to do that. And, also I was doing a lot of stuff with Culture Break. I won the Chief Minister's Inclusion Award for, Emerging Young Leader as well. So that was pretty cool. I didn't expect it as well, which was, I am just so thankful for what this year has come. And I graduated year 12. It was a pretty big moment, and I had my formal, which was so much fun. And, yeah, I think I'm about to start crying. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and I'm so thankful that I've now completed this chapter of my life, and I'm moving on to another chapter. I do hope to see all of my friends from high school again as well. I'm still going to keep in touch with them, so yeah, but what a year 2019 was. So, now we move into 2020. Now, I know I've been taking a pretty long hiatus from YouTube for a bit. That's because I was working on a Games Court episode that was planning to go up on Christmas, but I kind of ran out of time, and then it was meant to go on New Year's. But I'm using a new editor, Filmora, and I want it to be the best quality video to start off the Games Court in 2020. And to do that, I'm going to need a bit more time. So get keen for the Games Court. It will be coming back. And yeah, just give me a little bit of time. I'm still working out everything and finishing up the video as well, finishing up recordings and stuff, but I'm trying my hardest, guys. The editor that I'm using is Filmora Pro on my laptop, so I'm still figuring out that and how it works, so it will be coming out. I'm just going to need a little bit more time. And now, I'm sure you guys know what has been going on YouTube lately. There's this thing called, the thing that was hitting YouTube was COPPA, the Children's Online Protection, the Children Online Privacy Protection Act. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. That YouTube started making guidelines that says whether you need to mark your videos as for kids. I personally don't consider my content for kids, because although a lot of the stuff that I do on the channel may target children, may seem like it's for children, it's not really for children. There's been countless times of jokes that won't fly over children's heads, just sort of, and sometimes I do, but I don't consider myself for kids. I'm more 13 plus, which is the sort of added year for YouTube, I think. So I'm sort of like pre-teens and stuff, I don't consider myself for kids. So, yeah, basically what this is to protect children online, because there were allegations that YouTube was tracking children's information and delivering them targeted ads. So I don't want to risk that for my my channel. So I'm gonna put it out now. I do not consider myself for kids. So yeah, but get keen for new content in 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. It's probably New Year's Eve over in some other country. I don't know. But Happy New Year, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!